Hello. Today's topic is going to be about bipolar disorder. That's what I'd like to talk about. So what is bipolar disorder? Bipolar disorder means that your emotions go up and down. Now, do I mean that you have normal mood swings like everybody else? No, that's not what bipolar disorder is. So what causes bipolar disorder? It could be passed down through your genetics. You could have a chemical imbalance in the brain, or a misfiring, if you will. And sometimes your environment can even cause it. So how does one know if they have bipolar disorder? When you have feelings of depression, you might seek treatment from a doctor. However, if your mood is very elevated and you experience mania, you wouldn't bother going to the doctor because you don't feel depressed. So bipolar disorder is often missed by professionals and misdiagnosed. For example, I have bipolar disorder. But it wasn't until I was 34 years old that I was properly diagnosed. My doctors only diagnosed me with depression because they didn't see the mania portion, and therefore didn't see the extreme mood swings. When you feel manic, your mood is very elevated. You feel very happy. So I was finally able to get the correct diagnosis. So how do you know if you have bipolar disorder? What does it feel like? If you're manic, sometimes you feel like you're high. You feel like you're invincible, like nothing could go wrong. Some people go on big shopping sprees and blow all of their money. Sometimes you can feel crabby or irritable, like everything is just getting on your every last nerve, and you feel angry at everyone and everything. Sometimes you may feel sexually promiscuous. And a lot of people with bipolar disorder tend to have problems with authority, like the police or their boss. And so a lot of conflicts in their lives erupt. So that's mania, but on the other hand, there's still depression. A lot of people understand what depression feels like. You don't feel like doing anything. Maybe you don't eat. You might sleep too much, or even not enough. Sometimes you can gain a lot of weight, and sometimes you can lose a lot of weight. It's difficult to go out and interact with other people. Sometimes you tend to isolate yourself and you want to be alone. You tend to feel like you want to stay in bed all day, and that the effort of getting up and showering and eating and getting dressed, going out, is just too much effort. Sometimes you may even feel suicidal. Okay, so how is bipolar disorder diagnosed? It's usually by a psychiatrist. Your family doctor might be able to do it, but they'll usually refer you to a psychiatrist to get diagnosed. So how do you treat bipolar disorder? There's a couple different ways. First is that you can take medication. Second is that you could go to talk therapy. And the third is that sometimes just changing everyday things in your life can really help. Like getting on a schedule for eating, for sleeping, taking your medicine regularly. Being on a schedule can really help. But I think the most important is your support system, your family, your friends, having a support system, people that you can depend on if you can't do something by yourself and you need help. have to decide who you can turn to. Could be your spouse, your parents, or even your own children can help you at times. Your friends, maybe a trusted employee or a boss, might be able to help. You don't want to just go out and announce to the world, hey, I have bipolar disorder, but rather narrow down a group of people that you can depend on and trust to help you. There are two different types of bipolar disorder. There's bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. If your doctor tells you you have bipolar disorder, they might give you a prescription and send you on your way. You might be thinking, well, what do I do now? If it says bipolar 1, that means that your mood swings are very intense. You're either very manic or you're very depressed. On the other hand, with bipolar 2, it's more light, I suppose. Your mood swings are not as severe. But it's still something you need to focus on. It's still something you need to treat. Now, is there a way to cure bipolar disorder? I'm sorry to say, but there's not. I personally was diagnosed 8 years ago, and I will have to take medication for the rest of my life. There is a grief process that goes along with being diagnosed. Sometimes you are totally fine with it. You can accept the fact. You take your medicine, you go on with your life. But sometimes you feel like you don't want it anymore. You're done with it. I don't want to be bipolar. I don't want to take my pills. I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want to have to depend on people to help me, and so on. But you have to accept it. The most important thing for me, and maybe not the most for you, but for me, the most important thing for treating my bipolar is acceptance and progressing in my life. Yeah. Taking my medicine and going along with the process, it's all part of it. Now, should you just accept anything that anyone tells you? Well, absolutely not. You need to be involved in your own treatment. Ask your doctor questions about your medication. What is it for? What are the names? What are the side effects? Right now, for my bipolar disorder, I take 6 different medications, and that's a lot. But I know what their names are. I know the side effects. I know why I'm taking each one. I understand my own medication. It's so important to feel empowered. Whether you use ASL, whether you're deaf or hearing, doesn't matter. Everybody needs to feel empowered. Because you can be happy. You can accept that you have bipolar disorder. It is possible. If you have any questions for me, please send me an email or leave a comment down below. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.